And you thought business talk was boring.
3 entrepreneurs.
No rules.
Mr. Preneur TV.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Mr. Preneur. This man.
That's to get you back for the video. You'll see later on in a few days.
Can't take these guys nowhere. Hey guys, this is Mr. Preneur, aka Sam Anderson here with the Mr. Preneur Show. Alright, we're extremely excited. This is episode 1. We plan on doing this for a while, and I have 2 of my team members here with me today. First, let me introduce to my left, we have Shane Patrick Cruz with Shane Patrick Cruz Studios.
What's up, everyone?
Shane is a phenomenal photographer. We've actually been friends for over 12 years.
12 years.
College roommates, so it's great to be here with him. Then we have the world-renowned videographer Will Roy. His company name is Blue, where he focuses on videography work and branding. So how you guys doing today?
Doing good, man. We got a Starbucks, got a vanilla chai, vanilla soy chai.
Just so you know, Shane was about 20 minutes late just so he could get that.
It's a necessity.
Had to get it in.
It's a necessity.
All right, so the point of this show is what we really want to do. We all feel, we're all entrepreneurs, we feel that business is extremely exciting, fun. This is the most fun all of us have had in our entire lives. We've all worked in the corporate world. We've all done that job that you absolutely hate, whether it's factory work or work in fast food restaurants, whatever the case is. We've done all that. And we've never had as much fun as what we're having now. So we want to bring a show to you that shows you that business information doesn't have to be so dry and dull. We want to liven this up, bring an entertainment value to you. So to kick it off, I really want to introduce you guys to Shane and Will and kind of get a quick synopsis of their story and let you know where they come from. Of course, I'll give you a little background of my story as well, but then we're going to dive into some questions right from there. So we'll kick it off with, you want to kick it off with Will?
Start with Will.
Why don't you want to go first?
Yes, yeah.
All right, I'll start first.
But yeah, well, just give us like a 3-minute. I know it's hard to put everything in about 3 minutes, but in about 3 minutes, tell us, your journey to be an entrepreneur and what it is that you were doing before and what you're doing now.
Okay. So my name is Will Roy, founder of Blue Branding. Entrepreneurship is fairly new to me. I've actually started my company within the last few months. Before I started Blue, I was living a life similar to a lot of the country, really. Working for corporate America wasn't really fun. My whole life I grew up thinking, okay, I want to go to college and get this job so I can be happily ever after. But didn't really work out like that. So, midway through corporate America, the trip up the corporate ladder, I just realized this isn't where I want to be. I've always been a creative person. Never really was one to want to fall in line. I always wanted to do my own thing. So about this time last year, I really got serious about figuring out what am I bringing to the world? What can I bring to the world? It wasn't working in a call center. It wasn't working for a bank. It wasn't being a manager. I'm a creative. I want to create. I want to help things evolve. And I started realizing all my interests, whether it be videography, music, photography, they all kind of led me in the direction of branding. So now what I do at Blue is startups generally have great ideas, great passion for what they do, but maybe don't have the resources to make it look as good as it could or to make the connection with their audience like they would like to. So that's where I come in, and I actually would make sure that you have top-notch visuals, audio, and we're actually going to brand you to make sure that we get your target demographic involved with your company. Make them know your name and what you do, and try to make you a household name. So that's a little bit about me. I'm gonna pass it to Shane here and let him tell you a little bit about him.
Good stuff.
Scoot in a little bit. Scoot in towards me. They can't see you.
Oh, Periscope world can't see you. Well,
Sorry,
first,
you couldn't see him.
let's do this first.
There
I
you
want to
go.
make sure
Now you can see.
we get Will's website on here. So Will, you're the one actually editing this video. So when I point, that's where you're gonna.
It's gonna be
put
down there.
And you just go. All right. So this is Will's website right here. Bing. Click right there. All right. All right. Now we're gonna go over to Shane Cruz. So Shane, give us a little bit about your story and journey as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? Shane Patrick Cruz, photographer. I been doing this for a while. I started about 3 years ago in the business. I wasn't officially a business until about actually 4 months ago, 4 months ago, right around there. I specialize in a couple different areas. I do contemporary magazine-inspired beauty portraits. I'm mainly a portrait photographer. And then the other side of things, I do corporate headshots and business lifestyle photos. I enjoy doing it. My dad was a photographer when I was younger. He passed away and I got all his photography equipment. An old Minolta X700 that was made in 1981, the year I was born. And
Most people have no idea.
most people, yeah, you have no clue what that
I
is.
have no idea what that means.
But I love it. I still actually have that camera, even though I don't use it because I don't use film. But anyway, so that's what I do as far as business goes. I also have a passion project I started back in December of last year. It's called the Dream Nation Project. And what it is a kind of an art project / social experiment that documents individual stories in photo, print, and video based around one main question, which is, what is your life dream? Sam and I, like I said, have been friends for 12 years, and we've talked about dreams and passions and goals and going after them and setting them, and for 12 years now. And so this has kind of been something that is evolved ever since we very first started talking about that. I was very curious in people's dreams as children and what they are now and if they changed and why they changed. You may or may not know that society and family and media and all things of the sort tend to push us in a specific direction, and a lot of times it pushes us away from the dreams that we want to go for. So this project is to show that you don't have to do that. You can go for what you want to go for. You can go for the dreams and the goals that you have in your life. You don't have to listen to everyone else. You can take the risk. My goal, my personal dream throughout this project is that everyone that sees these photos and the interviews that are done with the individuals will be able to see that they too themselves can do it. These people can do it who are not high-end CEOs or celebrities or multi-billionaires or just regular everyday people that have gone after what they want to go after and have achieved what they want to achieve or in the process of doing it. And hopefully that gives some motivation to everyone that sees the project. Right now, the project has its own webpage. It's called dreamnationproject.com. And there's also...
Just to be a jerk, Will, when you edit this, we're going to bing the web address right over
yeah, so
Shane's face.
dreamnationproject.com.
Bing. No, it's going to be up here, across the face.
No, not across the face.
Bing.
Right across the face.
Right.
No, not across the face. Don't... This is the moneymaker right here. Don't cover that up. This is the moneymaker right there.
Can't tell him what to do.
That's the moneymaker. Don't cover that up. But so dreamnationproject.com YouTube page has got the video interviews, and then the business side of things with the portraits is ShanePatrickCruz.com.
Good stuff.
Cool.
All right, does that leave me, fellas?
Your turn.
We lost connection on Periscope. No one's with us anymore.
Can I tell my story? How did we lose connection on Periscope?
I don't know. Go ahead.
No. All right.
Maybe I just lost connection.
Well, I am Mr. Preneur, Sam Anderson, and my journey has been a long one as well as these gentlemen have. I started out college dropout, went to Longwood University, was majoring in business, learned at the junior level. I'm not learning what I want to at the business level. I want to learn how to own and operate a business, not work for someone else. College was the absolute best time of my life. I remained there way too long, and it was because the party was off the chain. Could not leave. I think even after I quit, I think me and Shane continued to live together. I was no longer enrolled in school, but I was still living with him.
Yeah.
I was living rent-free for a while at the dorms at Longer University, so they may send me a bill.
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah.
That's all right now. So from there, moved on, worked in the mental health field for 8 years. Became a project manager in the mental health field as well. Wanted to get more on the business sides of things, but then I started to get put into a box, and I just could no longer help it. Years ago, it had been almost 8 years, 10 years. Shane and I were in network marketing, and that's really where I started to get a passion for being an entrepreneur. So did that at the early ages of 20, but suppressed that entrepreneur spirit for so long. He said, you know what, I'm going to be a good company man. I'm going to go, please the boss, which I don't want to sound, I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. And I know you guys feel the same way about this, is that I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a job. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. My thing is that seeing people, nothing pisses me off more than seeing people complain about their job on a daily basis and doing absolutely nothing about it. If you don't like your job, that is nobody's fault but yours that you remain there. You have the choice to leave and pursue anything that you want in life. So that's exactly what I did. So the first company I started with was Richmond Bubble Soccer, richmondbubblesoccer.com. We're at Huge Bubble Suits, play full contact soccer. We were one of the first companies to come here in the state of Virginia to put that business model in place. So at this time I had that going. Then my second company, Cycle. Once we formulated that company earlier this year as well. It's a valet delivery laundry service. Customers just drop their bags outside the doorstep, and we come pick it up, take it back to our facility, organically washed, professionally folded, brought back to you in 48 hours. So I'm still working full time while I have these two companies going, but there came a point where I said, you know what, there is no way that I'm going to be able to grow these businesses and continue to give up 40 hours a week to someone else. So I decided I had to go, Will.
Yes, sir.
Couldn't do it anymore, man. To my boss's dismay, at first he said he was supportive of what he was doing, but I knew deep down that he really wasn't. I think at some level he felt betrayed that I was leaving the company to pursue my own dreams, and that's all well and good. Had no idea where the money was going to come from. So at the time I wasn't pulling income from Bubble Soccer. Cycle Services hadn't even started yet. But I just knew, like, deep down in my gut, like the same feeling these guys both had. People ask all the time, like, how do you know when to leave your full-time job and become an entrepreneur? And there's no real answer for this except to say this. It sounds very generic and cliche. I'm not married. Neither one of these guys have been married, at least that I know about.
No, sir.
You're strange, Will?
Nah, no.
Okay. But everybody always tells me, when you find your wife, you'll just know. Like, there's no question in your mind, like, you know that this is the person for you. And it's the same thing with me for business. I know me and Will have talked extensively about this over the last couple of weeks. I just knew that it was time to go. No idea where the money was coming, but it was just a gut-wrenching feeling that I could no longer walk in this office and give someone else 40 hours of my week. It just wasn't possible. So we actually formulated Anderson Consulting in the process. The company still wanted to keep me on, doing some work in the project management field, but decided to go away with that, and we formulated a whole new brand and direction that we were going. And these guys have been instrumental in building Anderson Consulting with me. They're a big part of what we do with the photography work, the videography work. We run social media platforms and so on and so forth. So with that, I had a couple things that I wanted to get into today. And because we're all from different backgrounds and have different personalities, I think this is a good mix of entrepreneurs to bring to the table and kind of discuss these things. Really for this, this is the first episode, so you're not going to get everything isn't formulated the way it needs to be. There's going to be some cleaning up that we got to do.
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff. But there's a lesson in that. The biggest lesson is, I personally have talked about doing something like this probably for over 7 years. I've been speaking to these guys about it for a while now. And even today, we didn't even have a location that we were shooting at. But we just figured it out. We set a date 2 weeks ago and said we were going to shoot today. And I said, there's nothing that's going to stop us from shooting today. But that's the thing, is you don't always have to have a plan. Just set a goal and go after it. Sometimes things just come together. All right, so with that, here's a question I've been getting a lot, guys. And I want you guys to kind of chime in on this. I got my opinion about it, but I want to hear what you guys say. A lot of people ask, what is it that made you decide to be an entrepreneur? And I know, like, the generic responses that we can give people. But Will, what was it that made you decide that, because this is what we do and the way we think is the complete opposite of the way the majority of people in this country and the world think.
True.
What we're doing, people think we're crazy, man. But then we look at them and think that they're crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what was it that made you say, you know what, this is in the cards for me, this is what I have to do with my life?
For me, it all came down to happiness. I just remember thinking back to my college days, carefree, doing what you like to do. And then as soon as I left college and actually joined the workforce and started living the American dream, I just noticed I wasn't very happy. I wasn't really doing anything worthwhile, in my opinion. I wasn't.
So the day-to-day when you were going to the office, there was no sense of purpose or...
Exactly. Anytime I felt like I would have to wake up for work, I was dreading it. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to get in the car.
It was a chore.
Exactly. And I feel like when you feel like that, that's a sign. It's not something you should just ignore. So I started realizing I'm not doing anything that I'm actually interested in right now. Why don't I just start? Like he said, it's nobody's fault but my own. Nobody's forcing me to go to work. Nobody's forcing me to work at that job. So I just figured out that eventually I could make money doing what I like to do and be happy. So why not?
And I'll tell you, it is not the best feeling in the world. Like the first time you get a check with your company name on. The first time somebody cut you a check and it said Shane Patrick Cruz Photography or Shane Patrick Cruz Studios. And the first time you got a check and it said Blue. The first time I got a check and it was written out to Anderson Consultant. That was the most mind-blowing thing I've ever experienced. For the first time in my life, I realized, you know what? I don't have to depend on somebody else to pay my bills.
Exactly.
I don't have to depend on somebody else to make sure I got food in my refrigerator next week. I went out there myself and made it happen. Now, Shane, your journey is a little bit different than mine and Will's. Me and Will kind of just both jumped ship. You had been working on this for years before you physically and legitimately made it a business. So what was it for you that made you finally say, you know what, I can no longer hold back. I'm falling in on the deep end for entrepreneurism?
Well, like I said, when we were in Longwood, I majored in photography for about a year, and then I actually initially became jaded by it. I thought that schooling when dealing with photography was just ridiculous, and that they make you do these things that they seem initially like they have a point, but they really don't have a point. I mean, they're like, we want you to be an individual and create this project, but there's all these guidelines that you have to follow in order to get the project done and get a good grade on it. And they put you in this box that I just didn't like. And
based off of somebody else's standards.
Yeah. I understand that that's the way college works. I mean, that you have to have a system to teach by, and I understand that. But I didn't like it. So when I got out of college, I didn't do photography for years, and it wasn't until about 3 years ago. And I actually, not only that, but I used my dad's film camera in college. Just to tell you how old I am. The year I left college, he's way older. The year I left, not way older. The year I left college, which was 2005. That year was the very first year they had a digital photography class.
Good Lord. Wow.
Yeah. They had just started doing it. Like, I think Adobe Photoshop had been around for a couple years, if I'm correct, before then. But yeah, so I remember saying digital photography will never take off. This is ridiculous. The photos look like crap. The video looks like crap. I mean, this will just never take off. And I boycotted digital photography until 3 years ago, when I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy a digital camera and then get into it. And
what made you take that step? Where you finally went from dream and thought to action?
Because I don't like working for people.
The fact that you actually went to the store and made that purchase, that was no longer a dream anymore. You put it into action.
Yeah, I mean, it initially was just curiosity, and I just kind of wanted to see what it was about. And I'd always kind of liked the portrait side of things and fashion photography side of things. So that's when, when I very first got into it, I was shooting that style of photography, the portrait and the fashion end of things. But yeah, initially it was just a curiosity. I just wanted to see what the digital world was about. But the reason to get into business is plain and simple. I do not like working for people. I do not like spending my time building someone else's dream. It's just not ideal for me. It's just a waste of time. I mean, you have one life. Why are you going to waste it building someone else's life? Where you can just build your own.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't agree with that at all.
Will said standing ovation.
Yeah,
man.
thanks.
I know I'm at a clap machine now.
I know I'm at a
Thank
frame
you.
there.
Thank you.
But no, with that, let me make a point with that too.
Yeah.
Is that because here I try to be real careful with this. Is that for us, the three of us following our dreams meant business ownership.
Right.
But that doesn't mean the same for everybody else.
No.
You can be within your passion and be following your purpose and be working within a company for someone
Right.
else. Just for us, that was just the mold where we just don't fit that. Like, we couldn't do the cookie cutter situation of life.
Yeah, not everyone is a business owner, and that is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be a great employee, but if that's what you're going to be, then be a great employee.
Mm-hmm.
If your passion is to work for someone, and be good at it, then be good at it. And, put all your time and energy into that. With that said, though, I do want to say this. With that said, though, you still need to be mindful in every situation. If your dream, because these two guys, you're just doing just the business now. You're not working anymore. I still have a part-time job. I actually have two. I train at a kickboxing gym and I bartend on the weekends. So for me, it's still a part-time job, and while pursuing the dream of going full-time with the business. But still, you have to be mindful. If you're one of those people that you're going for that dream of owning your own business, but you're still in a job, you still have to be mindful about your situation and be 100% present within your job when you're there. But don't give up on the dream.
Great point.
Yeah.
Because I think I would have screwed myself big time down the road in terms of business if when I was working for someone else, I wasn't giving them 110% of what I brought to the table. If a man's paying you to do a job, it is your responsibility to do that to the best of your ability, not to come in and give them 60% one day. It benefits us because we're all, that's not what I meant. I kind of jumped into that. It benefits us that if you go in the office and you're on Facebook for 2 or 3 hours out of your workday, that benefits us because we're running advertisements on Facebook. We're all over social media.
True.
We're doing all these things. So the more that you're not actually focused on your work and doing that stuff, it benefits us. But you're doing a disservice to yourself. When you go on to the next step and you're going to pursue your dreams and goals and whatever it is that you're doing, and it doesn't necessarily have to be business. Like this could be in health. You have a goal, you're having some health issues and you need to drop 50 pounds, not to be pretty, but to be healthy. These things can affect you in that manner as well. I want to end on this. I got one other question I want to discuss with you guys, and I'll kick this one off. Someone asked me the other day, where does my passion come from? And I think we've all kind of hit on that to some realm. And I really had to sit there and think about that for a minute, but because it's so ingrained, and I know these guys will say the same thing. It's not something that we think about on a regular basis. Like I have to get up and really motivate myself. I only hang out with motivated people. All right, so I never have to recharge my battery all the time because the people I'm with are the people that are hustling and moving. Like they're doing something. So if I see them out doing this and they're making this deal, they're signing this contract, they're moving on to this project, and I'm just remaining stagnant, there's no way I'll be happy with myself. I know when my buddies and associates and people are out there making things happen, I have to be out there making things happen too. But for me, the real thing is, I'm a college dropout, no degree. I worked in the field that tried to kick me out for years with the regulations coming from the government and the state, and they couldn't just because I had so many years of experience under me. but I'm the epitome of that. You don't need certain things to get moving off the ground. All 3 of my companies, I started with $0. Not $1 that I have to put in to those companies to get them started. Not one. So the excuse that people have, well, I don't have the money to do this or I don't have the money to do that, that's bullcrap. All right? There's always a way. I said bullcrap. We ain't gonna cuss. Not gonna cuss. Keep it clean, Will. My mama might watch this. But finding your passion is something that's just within you. It's not some button that you turn on. Like, that's just the way I'm charged up. Like, you know, I may get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get started on something, whether that's reading from a good book that day, getting my workout in, whatever the case is, sending out email, whatever it is. No one has to tap me on the shoulder and say, Sam, it's time to get up. Like, I work way harder for myself now than I did working for somebody else.
Very true.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't matter what time of day I had to be in at the office. There were times I went in early and everything like that, but, you know, I was pushing over 40 hours a week when I was working full-time for somebody else. I easily work 60, 70 hours for myself. Easily. But here's the kicker, is that for me, it's not work. It's not work. Like, what we're doing right now is technically work. But I've dreamed about doing this my whole life. So there's no way that this is work to me. So when people hear how much I'm doing and they see me running around, they're like, man, you need to take a vacation. You need to take a break. Wow, I'm living my vacation. I'm living it.
And to piggyback off what Sam just said, like he said, a lot of people do ask, how do you find your passion? Like, how do you know what your passion is? I tend to think it's what you've been doing your whole life. Like, every day when you wake up, if you don't have anything else to do, what are you doing? Chances are whatever you're doing has a slight bit to do with your passion. If you're researching, like me personally, I'm always researching cameras, listening to music, making music, thinking about brands that I like and the new ad campaigns and things that interest me. Then I realized, why don't I just do that myself?
So when you're on your iPhone, you're not sitting there playing Doodle Jump.
Exactly.
You're not sitting there playing, what's that one, the fruit? What is it?
Fruit Ninja?
Yeah, Fruit Ninja.
I love that game.
You're not sitting there playing Fruit
Not gonna
Ninja.
lie.
You're sitting there making deals on your iPhone, man. You're researching stuff, and
Exactly.
it's just a part of who you are. It's just what you do.
Exactly. The same thing I've always been doing, except I'm not the consumer anymore, I'm the supplier now. And that's how I like to think about it.
That was a boss statement right there. You hear that?
Yeah, it
Boss, Will.
It really goes back, you know, what you do every day. It's and even more than that, what do you think about every day? What is it that you think about the most? And that would be your passion. You know, for me, it's a little bit different. You know, you talked about recharging. You don't have to recharge because you hang out with motivated people all the time. For me, it's a little different. You know, I go to a job on the weekend with people who are unmotivated. So for me, I have to be extremely diligent about constantly keeping the dream in front of me, because, you know, my job on the weekend is emotionally and physically just draining. So, you know, I make it a point to keep the dream in front of me and keep myself grounded within that situation. You know, I work Friday night and Saturday night, and Sunday I take the time to, you know, to bring myself back and ground myself again after all of that. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
That's good stuff, man.
Definitely.
Guys, I think this was an awesome first episode.
It was good.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Brought to you by Vanilla Chai Tea, Starbucks.
Oh, speaking of that, we want to put down a link for our sponsor right here. You see this beautiful room that we're in? Filming is done so because of our sponsor. So I want you to see the link here at the bottom. Go check them out today. If you need any office space here in the local Richmond area, they can get you set up for an office or conference space, whatever it is that you need. But we want you guys to email us with any questions that you may have about starting a business, about following your passion, whatever it is. You can see the email address right here. All right. Email us there with your questions, and we'll be sure to get in as many as we can on the next episode. But if you're seeing this, more than likely you're at our website, mrpreneur.org, and we'll be hosting all these shows there directly on our site, and you can catch them on these guys' websites as well. But guys, it's been fantastic. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Thanks for
guys.
tuning in.
All right. I've lost connection. I don't even know if it's still on.